Hello, I thought about doing the entire stream wearing this, but it doesn't really quite fit over the headphones. So let's get rid of that. So much for that idea. So welcome to another Electron dance stream. And today we're going to do Cultist Simulator, RYB, Orbs and Domina, which I assume is pronounced Domina. Without... You know what? Let's just get on with Cultist Simulator and just hope it doesn't take up the entire stream. I did this a few days ago and it took way too much of the time that I had allotted for it. So I'll just fire it up and get straight into it. Okay, I should bring the game up. There we go. Just check my face is not in the way. Okay, there we go. So Cultist Simulator. And so I will say this is from Weather Factory and they kindly provided me with a key. They did not provide me with any money for this coverage. They basically just made sure I couldn't spend any time with my family while I played the game. So this is a game I saw in Rezzed very briefly. I'd heard about it on and off over the last year or so. And to be frank, I wasn't really sure what to make of it. I haven't played any of the previous stuff that Alexis Kennedy has worked on. Stuff like Sunless Sea and what was the other one? Fallen London, that's right. You can tell I haven't played them, I can't remember the names. So this is a brand new thing for me. So I will just slowly take you through, for people who haven't played it, what it seems to look like. And I'm not going to try and spoil anything. I'm just going to spoil a little bit because there'll be, you know, it's inevitable. You'll see the game. So let me just purge the save. Don't worry, don't worry. I have actually got backups. Begin game. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be inevitable. I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time reading things out to you. I'm not sure how legible the text is on the stream. So I can of course zoom up, except not on the little thing at the bottom there. So it says I'm an aspirant. I can give myself a name. Let's call myself Electron Dance. That guy's not going to last very long. Right, that's a good one. So we've got mean unemployment, and this is what it starts out with. So you just have this tile, and then you've got the card here, mean employment. So you've got nothing else to worry about, and it's almost like it's going to ease you in gently as a tutorial. So you've got nothing else to do, just put the mean employment on there. Another shift to the hospital, another shift mopping the darkened hallways, delivering post-hollow-eyed invalids trundling corpse-laden gurneys to the basement. Now you can skip lots of the text if you really want to, but the core of this game is really understanding, you know, everything that the text is trying to tell you. Someone's sworn in the chat and then, oops, sorry, wrong window. We've got, if I just start it, and then you'll see I've got 10 seconds. So I've written about this, you live in the pause. So I've got this pause at the bottom here, and if I unpause it, it'll get 10 seconds to go by. I can speed it up. I always spend time in fast forward mode. Let's stop that there. So here's the results. Halfway through your shift, the head porter beckons you aside. We won't require your services any longer, he says. Here your last payment. I've lost my job. At least I now have a little time to rest and my health improves. And then from this, we've got an extra tile here. And then you've got two cards it's given you. So one is some funds and one is health. And these turn out to be the most key parts. Right. So let's see. We have got, so funds and health tends to be the kind of important parts. They're kind of like your stats at the bottom. You can actually see it. There's funds and health, and you've got two other stats. We don't know what they are yet. Now the interesting thing is I didn't spend any time looking at the numbers at the bottom. You spend most of your time just looking at the cards, and that gives you everything you need to know. So I've got no work to put in here, but I've got the second tile, and it still seems very gentle, very easy to follow. Recall my dreams. Once again, I dream of a glow beneath the filthy skin of the world, the light through the black wood, the pale door of the old man. Again, you have no idea what it's talking about. So just let this run its course. Right, recall my dreams. So now it says, it began when I spoke to the old man in the hospital. He knew my name, but he's dead now. The pneumonia. Why do I dream of him still? What is the cobalt light in my dreams? I actually don't know what the cobalt light in my dreams is. And I've actually finished the game once. So that gives us passion and contentment. And the interesting thing is, contentment has a timer. So that's going to disappear after 56 seconds. At least that should be the theory. And there's passion. So there we are, that's that extra stat I was talking about. So now, well, what do we do next? Well, we've got another timer here. That seems to be funds. It seems to be funds, what do I talk about? I need funds to live, but perhaps this recent upset in my circumstances is a secret blessing. Is there something to my dreams? There is a change in the air. And again, very gradual, very slow. But just to make it clear now, so this is taking my funds because they're the expenses. Just to make it clear that you can see the basics of that. There's a clicker game here, that you're effectively just clicking on things. You are just dragging things from place to place. No decisions going on at the moment really, and that clicker aspect sort of fades into the background as it gets more complicated. So when we move on to the late stage of the game, you feel like that clicker aspect comes back, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a while, but we won't get that far, and I'm not going to load up a save and spoil the heck out of it. Right, so that's the expense has been used up, but now we have another icon. Oh, do you see that? There's a little glow around the tiles, which I hadn't noticed before. This is a bequest arrives, a letter from a solicitor, the old man at the hospital. The one I dream of has named me in his will. I'll hear more soon. In fact, right now. He's bequeathed me a sum of money and a packet of peculiar papers, poetry, riddles, metaphysical speculations. For the first time in months, here's some fuel for my reason. Now I can open up these. So we've got reason now, that's the last stat we were missing. A bequest and 9 funds. Which, oh, wow, okay, that's the first time that's happened usually. Maybe I just collect all, there we go. So if you didn't know, if you just grab one card off a pile, you'll just get the top one. But if you grab the number, this is a lesser known fact, something I didn't know for a long time, you can grab the whole pile. There is actually also snap to grid functionality in the game, like for about the last few days, which we didn't have at the beginning. So what do we do next? So we've got that's now a study tile, and we've got a bequest. So you can see it's highlighting in pink there, so we'll drag that in there. We can study it, and now we have an approach. Am I a passionate individual or a reasonable one? Well, that seems to be pointing very carefully towards two choices of passion and reason. So let's go with, say, passion. Examine my bequest employing passion. I'll read, theorize, pace, sketch, clutch at my hair in wonder, rise in elation, collapse in despair. Now, something that's kind of was not obvious to me in the beginning, but I think it's kind of useful for anyone new playing. You'll notice as I drag the second card in here, the whole appearance changes. We've got a different text here, and we've got a different heading. And there are many times you don't know what to put into a slot. And if you put something in which isn't going to have any effect, you'll notice the dialogue will not change its shape or appearance. And when you have found sort of like something to unlock what's going to happen next, or something that's useful, then you'll notice that something will appear. Now I did say I was going to do passion, so let's go for that. You'll notice there's all these other icons. I'm not going to talk about those because it took me like a long time before I was quite comfortable with what all those meant. Right, so my correspondent describes my dreams exactly. They use names that are instantly familiar. They use the house, the wood, the hours of glory, and they are not familiar to me when I started playing the game. I sense here a power that generals and kings would envy. A new desire burns in me. There is a note here, directions to a bookshop that does not advertise its wares. Now here's something which is kind of irritating with the user interface. So I've got all these things, and of course I can have a look at what they are. Now if I collect all, they'll all end up on the desk. This desk in front of us here, which I can zoom out. You can see there's the legs, and I can zoom right in as well. Now, once you have a lot of cards, you'll have a very particular, approach to how you want to play your table out. And so if everything just gets dumped with collect all in the center, it can be sometimes slightly annoying. So I found that I generally leave the center of the desk clear as I was towards the end of my first winning game. So we've got here a Smith's secret. In 5 continents, Smiths have whispered the same words to the iron. Murderers have been known to whisper these words too, and adepts, of course. These words are spoken in ritual to inspire unmerciful change. Okay, so that seems to be some sort of knowledge. Then we've got this temptation power. It has occurred to me that I hold the key to power. Now, this is what I like to call the tutorial band-aids. So the original idea of Cultist Simulator, which has actually survived, is that the game will live. The game is going to be one where you have to work everything out, and it's not going to tell you how to do everything. But there are aspects of the game which are a little bit too cryptic, and there have been little square bracketed comments which make it more clearer what to do in certain times. This card will allow you to win a power victory if you upgrade it far enough. Dreaming about it might advance or change it. All of which was very useful when I started playing, but I thought, okay, I have to dream about it, do I? And how do I upgrade it? So we also got notes on a possible collaborator. My correspondent had recorded his observations of me. He believed I had potential. He recorded his observations of someone else too. With time and study, perhaps I can find that person. So that can go into study as well. And directions to moorlands. Cryptic directions to the obscure address of a certain moorland, a dealer in the rarer sort of book. You cannot not read this stuff. Apart from the fact that a lot of the text is kind of very nicely put. Very nicely put. That's a nice way to reward a writer. Well done in writing that book. It was quite nicely put, all those 20,000 words. Let's put this in here. Find a potential collaborator. I have a name, a description, a few tantalizing details, but there are 1,000 faces in this city. Let's just start off with that and let it run for 30 seconds. So I'm going to start rearranging these a little bit. Let's move all these stats up here. Okay, and now we've got a mouth icon. No, that's given us... Oh, so now I have an address. I'll dispatch a letter and propose a meeting. Talk is unlocked. So we've got this Mystique card, which is mysterious. I've got Drakon in chat saying, I think the square brackets misled me, made me assume there would always be square brackets for important things. That's interesting. I didn't fall under the bus in that way. I think I did get confused other times when I thought it was trying to tell me something obliquely, and I thought, oh wow, it's mentioned purple. That must mean something to do with purple things. And I don't think that was the case. Let's see, can we do anything else? Oh, let's get the direction to Morelands in here now. Start that off. The directions to Moreland's shop are cryptic. When one deals in the kind of books my correspondent studied, one must be circumspect. At the same time, find Moreland's shop. Oh, an acquaintance. I wait an answer to a letter. Oh, and now we've got another icon. And already it's starting to get quite busy. So let's put this up here. This is the wrong kind of attention. The city is rife with journalists and detectives and other meddlers. How long will they leave me in peace? And it says an adversary. And we've got this little magnet icon down here. And it's, if you click on it, it's saying grabs a card to fill its void. Okay, so that's good. Oh, we've got the talker stop. Let me just stop the game again. So, an acquaintance. The reply to your letter is courteous, if cautious. They are intrigued by how you found their name, intrigued enough to meet you. So this is Rhaenyra, an acquaintance. So talk can be used to interrogate, intimidate, beguile, instruct, and recruit. Now, so let's see how many tiles we got here. Now, when I originally played the game, and I think people still think of it like this, you see these icons as verbs and you see the cards as nouns. So it's like in an adventure game, you know, get funds, work reasonably. How about that? And you know, read law. But the way this game works out, because of its sort of its clicker, its basics of a clicker is in it. This actually ends up in something that feels much more like a cooking game, and this was a realization that came to Andy Durden first. I was working towards it. I could start to feel like there was another kind of game it reminded me of. But they're like little ovens, and you're putting in these little ingredients into your ovens and getting out, you know, new ingredients, or you're cooking up different things. It's like a crafting game where you're hoping to find new crafting recipes from different crafting tables. So I'm not sure that's really helpful to think of the game in that way, but that's sort of like what it's analogous to in a design sense. Right, so we got find Moreland's shop, and someone is meddling. Right, okay, so now we got another one. Find Moreland's shop, an ill-lit street at an ill-favoured bend in a lesser river, a soft yellow light through a grimy window. Miss Moreland nods as I enter, but doesn't rise. I never ask the names of my clients, she informs me, before I have time to introduce myself. Explore is unlocked. And that is Moreland's shop. So, what do I do with Moreland's shop? Oh, so the explore tile says now that I found a location, I can explore it. And that gives me an occult scrap. So explore says explore the city with health or followers. So you notice there is sort of some hints here which are not in brackets. Explore the city with health, and it's kind of telling you should be, maybe you could put your health in here. Explore locations or investigate the possibilities of law. Exploration is often unpredictable. So what's that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles we've got at the moment. And it's all right, we've got plenty of space. What should we do next? Should we talk to Rhaenyra? Let's try that. Found a mystical organization. Here is someone I might work with, a companion or a follower. But first I must give them something to follow. A society, a sodality, an order, a cult. So if we start, that goes round. Okay, let's stop there again because we got another tile appear. So I have begun my true work. The authorities will take an interest in it. I must be ready for them. Little bracketed bit here. You have begun to establish your cult. It will need a little more before you can recruit followers. Now we've got this notoriety card, which has also got a timer on it of that's 6 minutes. And Rhaenyra's just been chucked back out. All right, so what is this thing that popped out? Now we've got a box here, which means we could pull a card in here. So tradition and compulsion, old, new, or both together. Add law to determine your cult's founding principles. Another bracketed hint there. So law, what is law? Now another nice aspect is that if you click on a slot, it will tell you what could go in there. It isn't always as helpful as it sounds, like, oh, I could just click on that and it will tell me everything I could be used, because your desk will be full of things, and sometimes you're going to have verbs which got about 4 different slots, and you know what the number of combinations you could make with that are ridiculously high. So it's not as helpful as it might seem, but at this point, yes, it is. So doctrine can come from an occult scrap or a Smith's secret. Okay, well, let's just use a Smith's secret. Okay, we're going to establish the unflinching order, an occult society dedicated to the fire that changes and remakes. Okay, we'll just let that run. Where are we now? Oh, this adversary one is going to finish off. Let me pause. An adversary, there's always someone who doesn't understand who understands too well. This troublemaker may seek evidence on my activities to share with the authorities. So I've got Spencer Hobson here. And it says Hobson's been a journalist, a private detective, and rather briefly a priest. Now he's an agent of the Suppression Bureau in capitals. So the Suppression Bureau is your, well, the good guys, let's put it that way. Now notice the tile there, the adversary tile disappeared. Its purpose no longer required. So that can happen too. So while some of these are like in your power, others are actually kind of controlled by the game. All right, so let's see what happens next. Okay, so a sacrifice of pain. The hour we will serve requires pain. I must give of myself. It wants health. Why do I have a feeling that's going to kill me? Let's just try that and see what happens. Yeah, we'll give it my health. Yeah, nothing could go wrong. Now what? Right, so bleak thoughts. We've got a new tile. Bleak thoughts, dark days. I must be careful not to let doubts creep in. Dread may provoke full-fledged despair. And that seems like an important hint because it's in square brackets. Unfortunately, it's not really clear how the dread mechanism and despair mechanism works for some time. And I could tell something bad was happening, but it's just one of those things where I'm not saying this is a problem with the game. It's just one of many things that you only work out over time, and it will obviously kill you when you don't work it out quickly enough. So where are we now? There seems to be a lot going on. Yeah, it's okay. All right, it took my health. A cult with one member is only an unusual habit. I must have a recruit. So I would guess that's Rhaenyra, our first acquaintance. Chuck her in there. And what's happening next? Okay, our rise begins. I have founded my cult. It is a step to greater power. Use your cult to recruit and promote followers. Talk with followers about your cult and send them out on cult business. So, what have we got here? Let's just bring it all out. We've got a temporary headquarters, an unflinching order. That's our cult. That's small and shop. I've got an injury. That seems to suggest I can put it in there. Let's click on it and we'll see what it says. I need rest and nourishment if I am to recover. But the mother of ants looks kindly at wounds. The mother of ants, yes. You're already starting to see, like, just throwing out these terms willy-nilly. Yeah, just take it. The mother of ants. Dreaming with an injury before the card phase will also allow you to recover health. So there you go. Okay, well, let's just do that then. Resting will restore me if I have the necessary resources. Well, that's not what it said just now. It said I could just rest. It seems to want medicines or vitality. Do we have any vitality? I don't see anything on nothing's flashing on the table. Medicines. Aha. Funds. I could pay for a doctor's visit. You notice it is actually giving hints about the slot itself. Let's check that in there. That's all it needs. So you don't need to fill up all these 3 slots. It's a either or. Let's just start that. The medicine is dark and bitter as tar. It would be easy to suspect I'm being poisoned. Something's going on. Right. Okay, the despair thing is over. The clouds part. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. No dread empowers this despair. It's over for now. Gives us a fleeting memory. It only lasts for 30 seconds. And I do think Andy Durden described fleeting memory as one of his top 3 useless cards in the game. Well, I used it. I did use it a little bit, but you do get an awful lot of fleeting memories. An awful lot. They're so. I was attacked by a fleet of fleeting memories. Now we've got a trembling in the air. The sun flickers like a shadow. Dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. And the hint here, which completely I find doesn't help me at all. I do not understand it. Fascination may provoke visions. And I was completely confused by that. However, this particular tile ended my game several times to the point where I actually started backing up my save. That's the lovely thing. If you bring up the options There's an option here for browse files. It will take you straight to your save game location, and you can just back it up if you feel so inclined. And I was going to be like, Mr. Rogue, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to just play straight through. I'm die, yeah, play straight through, die. And then when I got very deep into the game, I spent so many hours on it, and I felt like I was being killed by that particular tile once too often, and it was out of my control. I just started saving the game. I had, it's your way of controlling the difficulty of the game. Although I still can't tell you what the bird worm slider does. No one tell me in the comments. Right, so. Oh, yeah, that's a bit too much of a zoom in. Okay, so we've got these guys here. Still got that note. Oh, we got a card disappeared. Still got this notoriety here. How much left on that? 150. That's over 2 minutes. Okay, wow. So the dream finished. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. Now, some of these messages you will stop reading more than once. You'll know, like, oh, okay, it's the heal one. It says the thing about the tar, whatever. We got you, and you'll just get on with life. But there are times where you should look more than once at what the message coming up is, because it might be a little bit different. But you'll get used to that. Now you've got this little down arrow here. You can use it to just hit it and just eject the contents of the tile. This tile is finished. The world as it is. The mirrors are calm. The sun is steady. The glory recedes. I am sane, if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions. It's over for now. And you're left not with just a fleeting memory, but also a consciousness of radiance. And at which point, your head is starting to reel, like, okay, what's that for? A consciousness of radiance. Let me click on that. There is a light behind the world, a light above the mantis, a light that penetrates both glass and skin. It is present here. A second order influence, it says in brackets, apparent to the perceptive, instantly recognizable to an adept. This can be used in some rites to summon minions. And I'm like, okay, let's just park that. Let's just park that to the side, because I have no idea what you're talking about. A second order influence. Right. And I noted at this point, nothing is going on anymore. Apart from this thing continuing to take our funds, which we got just 3 left. And this is how the game plays out. You end up with a certain set of icons. Is that the full set? I think it's the full set. With which you empower your cult. Now, supposing I want to get Rhaenyra to do something. Here's something that really bugs me, and I'm gonna share it with you. Discuss occult business with a follower. Significant conversations in a smoky meeting room. What do I need for my follower? Add your cult to send them out in cult business. Send them after my enemies, or raise another matter. And I was very confused for a long time. It seems obvious to me now, but somehow the bracket text, it did melt to me into the nice prosaic stuff which was beside it. I just took it all in as one thing. Oh, add your cult, send them out in cult business. But actually it's an instruction, add your cult. It means add your cult. And then, something will happen. The other thing is, generally to add a person to your cult, you can't talk to them. That drove me mad. You can't talk to somebody. You've got to be able to, you have to actually talk to cult and then drag them into another dialogue. And it kind of explains it to you, but actually so many times, even towards the end of the game, I would just not think about it and grab the person, pull them in to into the talk tile and think, oh God, I gotta talk to the cult first. And that might just tell you how tired I was when I played it. Because if you notice, we've been playing for, it's like half an hour. And I have been non-stop moving things around and reading. I have been kept busy. And these timers are like 60 seconds, but I can run them fast forward and speed them up. They'll go much faster and fast forward. And it's like you're always got something to do, and even if it's a trivial thing. So this game is extremely addictive, and there's no natural stopping point. There's no like, well done, you finished that chapter, you made this level, you've reached another level of ascension. Well, I guess you do have that, but it doesn't feel like usually in the middle about 5 different things. You know, grabbing some lore, investigating this, talking this, trying to deal with Spencer Hobson. And so you're always in the middle about 4 different things. And it's very difficult to stop playing. And there are so many people who just get sucked into it. You know what, I'm just gonna let this run. So, Rhaenyra, I didn't discuss anything with Rhaenyra. So, I'm just gonna let this run now, because I think we played enough. That's all I wanted to show people who hadn't played it. But because of this, it becomes very kind of like compulsive. It keeps on going. Yes, yeah, look at 2 new tiles, you're probably thinking. And that one's Grab My Temptation. It just keeps on going and going and going. It's very difficult to find a break and stop. And I ended up losing way too much sleep over this game, simply because, I just want to see if I can get this to work. Because it's absolutely fascinating trying to decipher some of the systems in here, because although it seems like it's helped you a lot, and I've tried to avoid some of the more obvious things it's also trying to tell you to do. For example, my first game, I just couldn't find out how to get work. And you'll notice I don't have any job here, right? And my money is going to run out. I've run out of money. There's no more cash. And that's pretty much a game ender. So that, I would spend like ages just trying to think, well, how do I get this thing to happen, and try and move this in here, and that doesn't work, and trying to make your way up once you get into the Mantis. Oh, there we go. It's taken my health. This is what happens when you're running out of funds. You become ill. And when I just, oh, here we go. Sorry, so many things going on. Here's the thing that's indicated that you have no health left, which means you're actually going to die. My life is slipping away because of starvation. If I get some funds, if I heal, that would be the end of that. But remember to heal. If I need to heal, then I can rescue things. But the actual times involved and everything, that is actually a part of it. It's not just simply an idle clicker. A clicker, you always just sit there, you let things happen, and occasionally you'll get involved and click stuff. You know, it's always like you click lots of stuff in the beginning, and then slowly you build up to bigger clicks, so you don't have to do as much. But this, I find it's much more like you're actually thinking when you're doing a lot of things. Until later. When you get much later into the game, you find you get stuck in these grind loops because you're not sure what to do, and you think, maybe I just need to grind a bit. And even though I was very cognizant of that, my end game still resulted. The last 3 hours of my game, I was trying to grind up because I thought I obviously need more. And the game wasn't giving me anything. I'd pretty much exhausted what the game was willing to give me. But most of the avenues had just like dried up, and it was giving me the same destinations and the same little rewards. Moreland's shop was empty. It had closed. And then it becomes much more like a clicker. You feel like you're just going through the motions. But still, I still enjoyed playing this. I really did. And I am tempted to have another run to find an alternate goal, which is slightly different. I spent nearly 40 hours getting one ending. I don't think I would take that long to get a second ending. So what have we got in the chat? We've got a lot of discussion. Drocken says it's very easy to get caught up in the clicker busy work in pursuit of chasing the cool stuff. That is very true. Salty Horse says it reminds me of the achievement in Little Inferno, which are hints for items you need to combine, but nothing happens besides getting an achievement. That is interesting. I haven't played Little Inferno. It's one of the things I should have, because I loved World of Goo. But we will stop there, because any more I show will just be spoilery for people who haven't played it, and that's actually the whole point in playing, the reading and the working out of the systems. That's why you should play. Of course, you do need to worry about not eating in real life. So there you go, that's Cultist Simulator, a game I really got into, and at times I hated it, and I hated myself, but at least I had Andy Durden to talk to on Twitter about it. So I think that's enough of that. Let's move on to something a little not so crazy. Let me just quit out of, yes, Alt F4, the Twitch Master's friend. Okay, let's bring up RYB. Okay, so we wouldn't believe this. I actually had a save game for RYB. I've had it for over a year. Oh, sorry, let me go back to Cultist Simulator. I just need to say it's currently $19.99 on various sites. That's $19.99. I'm not sure how much it is in pounds, but we'll just choose whatever currency I managed to find online. Okay, so this is RYB. I had a key for this from the developer, Fleb, or I think his real name is Paul Flebovich. It's currently available. It's been out like for quite some time, and I played this all the way to the end. Oh, Drocken appreciates the loading program screen. Yes, I was done on my Atari 800 emulator. So this game, I played through it all the way. I really enjoyed it. It was very compulsive for me. I mean, and when I finished it, I saved the save game. And today I thought, you know what, I should rescue that save game. I'm reinstalling just for the stream. I'll use that save game. And then I copied my dead file over the top of it. And I lost my save game. I had to get out my backup drive just to rescue this save game for the stream. I can believe it. But we will start with a fresh game to begin with. So it's very light on like a tutorial. It tries to get away with saying as little as possible. So click there. That's actually very confusing, I'll say, but you won't understand what that is. It's actually two levels of menus of level selection. There's like the master section and then like the subsection. That's what we've just gone through. So here we are. It says color shapes to solve puzzles. So we can choose red, and we can go there, there, there. Okay, that's great. And show the next one. Okay, so we now got yellow and red, and the whole thing here is the circles tell you the colors of neighboring pieces. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a Minesweeper type game. I think there's also, is it Picross mentioned? So you can see this red triangle says there's one neighboring yellow piece. So this must be yellow. This says there are two neighboring yellow pieces and two neighboring red pieces. These are the two neighboring red pieces, so these must be yellow. This is quite straightforward. Next one to this must be red, next one to that must be red, the neighbors must be red. Everything is red. Slightly different. The middle one says its neighbors are red. The edge pieces both say their single neighbor is yellow. And not all circles are given. This one quite pointedly doesn't say anything. So we've got, what are we going to see? So that says one neighbor, which is yellow. That's that one. And that says it has a red and a yellow neighbor. So there's the yellow neighbor, and this one must be red. And so this says over here, its one neighbor is yellow, and this one says it's got a yellow neighbor and a red neighbor, so I need to change to red for that. And that leaves us with this one. This center square says it has 3 yellow neighbors and 1 red neighbor. Now we've got the 1 red neighbor there, and that must be yellow. I am about to talk about the penalties. Salty Horse has asked about it. That is the one slight down, it's the one thing about the game can't pull off well. So the game is kind of dependent on you to, you know, look after yourself really. So the thing is, there's actually, you see these 2 little hearts. If you make a mistake, it will actually take a life off you. So for example, let's try and work this out. So this says it has 2 red neighbors and 1 yellow neighbor. That's supposed to have, actually no, this is the bottom one to go for. This says it has 2 red neighbors and 1 yellow neighbor. So this middle one must be yellow because they're the 2 red neighbors already spoken for. So that's yellow, but imagine I get it wrong. Well, I lose a heart, and then one more chance, and then it just refreshes, it starts again. And I don't know, yeah, you can sort of, if you want to, you can brute force it, you can just like cheat and click on, find out what the colors are. And so I tend to sit here a long time just staring at it before I actually make any attempt. I do not want to make a mistake, because if I make a mistake, it'll tell me I made a mistake, and I'll know what the correct answer should be, and it drives me crazy. I want to solve it myself. But despite that, I had enormous fun with this, and the puzzles evolve with every step. So right now, this one is quite simple. So this is going to be yellow. That says 2 neighbors. There's a red one, and that must be a red one there. And this must be quite easy. So that's supposed to have 2 yellow neighbors. So now there's not very much information here, and that's because it's going to give you more information as you move along. So this has a red and a yellow neighbor. There's your red one, so this must be yellow. This has to have, so you can see now this has actually come up with new information, the 2 red dots. So as you move through the puzzle, more information is added, and it's always possible to determine, you know, what the solution is. And I'm always trying to find out what's the quickest way, what's the trick here from all the information I've given to find out what the next pieces are missing. 2 red dots. Yes, the reason it doesn't always give you all the neighbors. So it says 2 of its neighbors are red, but it's not going to tell you about the 3rd. So you have to work it out from there. So this one over here is also yellow for the same reason. This says it has 3 yellow neighbors, so we know that that's going to be yellow, and that's yellow. That's dropped more information in here. Now this says it has 2 red neighbors, so now it must be these 2. And there's this with this one here, so it should be possible to work out from here. That's got 2 yellow neighbors, 2 red neighbors. This must be red. And that's how it goes on, and it does get more and more, it does get harder and harder. So I'm going to come back to the main menu, and then we can then go to, wow, the full Monty. So let me see if I can jump ahead here. No, it's just the same kind of puzzle. So we go to the, if I go back, I think the next one is this. Maybe. Yep, so you get blue added in. I hear there's blue in the game. Indeed there is. I should get the tutorial up actually. Stop doing that. I think the tutorial is there. Oh my god, I've actually chosen the wrong one. Never mind. So there's blue, but then you get these puzzles then later on where they give you a number of dots at the side, and that's telling you how many colors there are in the puzzle. So it says here in the middle it has 4 red neighbors, but that is not enough to tell you whether these are yellow or whether the middle is yellow or blue. Oops, sorry, idiot. These are all red, but it doesn't give you any information. None of these edge pieces give you information that the middle one, what color the middle one is. But the total color count on the side here, there's 1 yellow left. Tells you that it must be a yellow. And so the information, although it's limited from the actual shape, the actual puzzle itself, the dots on the side give you the extra information to go further. So this is a red and a yellow neighbor. That is a red and a yellow neighbor. That doesn't help you at all. But let's look down here. If they've both got red neighbors and yellow neighbors, that means, so we've got a red and a yellow there, red, yellow there, red, yellow, red, yellow there. That means that's 2 reds and 2 yellows. That's those. That means we've got 3 blues left over. That must mean these 3 must be blues, because those 2 are spoken for. And that's given us enough information now to work out what the reds and yellows should be. So its 2 neighbors are red. That means the yellows are down here. And it goes on from there. This one is quite a tricky one. Salty Horse saying it goes to the same clean aesthetic as Hex Cells and its sequels. Hex Cells also has a better penalty system. I actually don't know. Yes, I don't know how to improve the penalty system other than, you know, have you like, unless it's a procedurally generated puzzle where it would like just throw the puzzle away and say, I'm sorry, it's gone. And that's the only effective penalty I can think of. Let me go back now and pick on something else. Where are we going next? I think that's the one that introduces blue. Let's go back. I've already talked about blue. They don't go around clockwise. It's kind of random which ones are next. Let's see, what does this one introduce? Oh yes, colors. I need to. Let me go. Ha. Let's go back. Right. Yes. So you get these extra colors, and that's when it kind of blows your mind. So it's saying here that the neighbor of this one is red and the neighbor of this one is yellow. What it's actually telling you is that it's orange. And this says its two neighbors are green. So when you have all the extra colors, it's actually telling you a red hint can match with purple and orange. That's what the display is showing you up here. And a blue hint can match with purple and green, and a yellow hint will match with green and orange. And that kind of multiplies the complexities in your brain, but it's still possible. I still went through everything. There is, I think, a couple of more change. Oh, it's the one I went to. A couple other changes, I think, down the line. I think we've got. Oh, that's pretty simple. There are like black sections, and I think there are hints which tell you where something is not. So it'll say there isn't red adjacent to me, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, there's quite, I can't remember how many puzzles there are in it, but I think I did it over like a couple of weeks or something like that. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's very, very satisfying puzzle. There are a few puzzles, unfortunately, there are a few puzzles which actually require you to, it seems to me, I couldn't find a quick way of hacking the puzzle, that you actually have to figure out the position of everything. If this is yellow, then I found myself filling everything in if I assumed it was yellow in my head. I'm saying, okay, there's a contradiction there. And then having to wind back and say, well, what if it's red? Does that fit? And usually you don't have to do that. You can actually work your way through just placing one thing on the you can just usually work through just like finding that quick route. Like they put this right there, it contradicts over here, that's fine. But there are just a few puzzles in there where you felt like I had to brute force it. I had to fill up the whole puzzle in my head, which I didn't enjoy. It felt like I was doing it like I wasn't being smart enough. Whether I missed it or not, I don't know. Okay, so Drocken says the newspaper puzzle penalty is, well, look, you've put a bunch of glyphs in, but nothing can go in here, so now you have to erase it and make it all smudgy to fix it. Dino War 2014 says this sounds exactly like working out Picross puzzles. Yes. I've never actually played Picross, but that is what I'm told. This is a cross between Picross and Minesweeper. So I think that's enough to show about RYB. It is currently $4.99 for Windows, Mac and Linux. It's $4.99, and I did get a key provided by the developer like in January 2017. Yes, I've sat in it all this time. And he actually forwarded to me because I was talking about Recursed. And I know about Recursed because Andy Durden was talking about it on Twitter. See, I can find everything goes back to Andy Durden. Oh no, whoa. I think Drocken is coming up with some game design ideas in the chat. We're going to lose him soon. So let's go come out of that. I better get on to Drocken's game. So, which is Orbs. Drocken's now telling me don't read all this stuff. Now, for some reason, Orbs is constantly coming up with trying to access the internet. I keep on saying, yes, it's okay, but not quite sure why. It did this yesterday. It didn't do this when I originally played it. Okay, let's bring up the game. So don't worry, there's actually no sound in this game whatsoever. So here we are. There's a little guy. It said level 1, you missed that bit. So you just come across over here. Okay, end of that. Level 2, no problem. That's how you jump. And level 3. And this is when you know it's a Drocken game. Oh. Right, so it's not possible to jump back up there, so we're going to have to go down here. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining, you know, how you work out how this game works, because I don't know if anybody's gonna play this. It's an odd little, you know, I think it was a jam game, right? Okay, so we fall down here, and can't even jump up that high. That's amazing. Romanos 14 says he loves the solve it wrong puzzles in The Witness. I did actually like those, even though they really taxed your brain. I actually felt like I wanted to have a lot more of them. Oh gosh, everybody coming up with puzzle suggestions in the chat now. That's crazy. Simon Tatum's puzzle. Why do I keep on thinking that's the guy who does the cats? Right, so we've got this orb here. An orb, yay! And now this pink thing's chasing after me and disappeared. Oh, but actually it's still there, and it's got the orb. So yes, as you can see, every time I grab an orb, this ghost appears and chases after me, but it vanishes. It's there, but it disappears. But actually, it's there, it's coming towards me, I just can't see it. And if you notice, we've got all this pink stuff flashing, which indicates the presence of this ghost. Now I can actually try to... Oh, well done. Ah, I really shouldn't have come into this room. This is an evil room. I did this in my run yesterday, on Monday, sorry. Let's grab that. Right. The orb came to you in a dream and demanded a game. Right. Because it's actually a very frustrating game, and I wouldn't actually recommend it. I know, right? Can we actually jump this now? Yes. See, where the orbs are giving you height. The more orbs you collect, the higher you can jump. Whether it is possible to actually escape, I don't know. Because you can imagine, once you've collected like a number of orbs, you're going to be chased around by so many ghosts. And there's a weird tension in this game, very, very weird tension, where you feel like, oh, there you are. Already lost one orb. Yeah, I'm going to have that back. Or maybe I'm not. Okay, fine. We got 3 orbs. So it's quite large, this game. And when you fall down, and you think, oh, I'm going to get back up. If you lose orbs, it's harder to jump back up. And of course, at the same time, you're being chased by about, a dozen ghosts. But there's a lot. What I love about this is like there's a sort of this horrible tension when you see the pink starting to flash, and you know you're in trouble. You're not going to die. They're just going to steal an orb, but it still makes you feel like freaking scared. So is it possible to escape back up to the door at the front? I have no idea, but I can tell you it gets pretty frustrating before that point. It's very hard to negotiate the landscape. So I wanted to share it with you because I don't think it's the kind of thing I'm going to say, oh, well, you guys, it's a gem. You need to play this. See, and I'm being chased. I can see those orange dots, pink dots. Oh, thank you. He's got it. Let's see. Oh, there's another one coming through. Oh, you come here. I'll have that. Fine, I'm going to go this way. Let's try somewhere else. So I play this for a little while and then I absolutely give up. Oh, cool. Another one. Oh, there's another one coming. I thought these were ropes. I was hoping they were ropes, but they're not. Yeah, I think I got 8 orbs. when I was playing this on Monday, which is the most ever. And I think getting back up is really tough. I don't know how many orbs you need to escape. Again, I said, is it possible to escape? I asked Draken on Twitter, and he was like, okay. You've really got to be good at, oh God, you've really got to be good at your jumps in this game. 7. Oh, not this room again. So this is it. How high have you got to jump to get back up to the top, you see? That's what I'm talking about. Oh, here we go. They're all ripping me up of my orbs. Oh. So, yes, don't worry, I'm about to stop playing this. The jumps are really, really tough. And if you fail a jump, that's it, you've lost it. Like all that pink. Oh yeah, there we go. How far do you have to... Yeah, I suppose... Yeah, I'm not sure how many orbs you'd need to get back up there. But then you have to do another jump. Screw this game. Screw you, Drocken. Not 3 though, yeah. 3 is not enough, and I've fallen down again. So I wanted to show you that because it's just a lovely little idea. I think 8 orbs is actually enough in the right spot. Oh my God, don't tell me that. I could have finished it on Monday. But I was being hunted by all these invisible ghosts. Oh, go away. Good grief. So yeah, I wanted to share that because it's not the kind of thing I want to say, hey guys, you got to play this. It's more of like, it's a cool little idea, and I just like the flashing lights indicating these invisible ghosts, and the tension that gets you. The first time I played, I thought they were going to kill me, and that was even worse. So we will stop there. I'm supposed to have 5 minutes left on the stream. Yes, I knew I was going to overrun. Good old Cultist Simulator. Right, let's come out of that and bring up Domina. Right. What I mean. Okay, so listen to this track. Honestly, I watched the trailer for Domina, and I just like, I had to have this game, and I thought this is going to be, you know, it looks so cool. Now, it wasn't what I thought it was. So let me just, new game and end this game. Wait a second, I had a save. It got rid of my save from earlier. Tell you what, give me a second. I'm going to get my save back up. Okay. Now, load last game. It appears to be a game in progress. Okay, so this is actually, the video is great. You know, you saw all this like fighting, and it's like live, bleed, die. It's just like, it's amazing. I just love the look of it. You know, just I don't care how this plays. I just want it. And I bought it straight away, like within minutes. And then I played it. It's like, oh, it's a gladiator management sim. And it was just like, what? And I had fun with it, but it's just like it's kind of not what I expected. And there's a lot of I suppose it's a bit like Cultist Simulator in the sense that you really need to live in pause. Pause the game, and then you can play around with everybody's stats. So you can change the training balance of the different gladiators, try and make them happy, keep them happy, otherwise they'll want to leave. You know, give them some wine, reward them with coin, say they're really happy now, and upgrade their armor and stuff. Of course, if you give them heavy gear, and they're not that strong, they won't be so cool. And you've got like, let's come out of the pause. You've got an upgrade tree here that the doctor can add more abilities to you guys. You've also got this thing called mind control. And the mind control allows you to actually control somebody in the gladiator arena, but frankly, I've never used that, and it just felt safer to leave the computer do all the fighting. But it's glorious. Let's come to, let's just get rid of this guy. Okay, you grant freedom. I'm nice. I'm playing on a very mild difficulty, so actually, oh god, no food. Yeah, mild difficulty. Buy food and water at the marketplace. The graphics in this game are just lovely to watch. I mean, apart from the fact that it gets a bit tense at times, you can see there's The next battle is in 9 days. A flash flood, so random event. A flash flood has damaged the villas of both the legate and the magistrate. While they are too proud to ask for temporary residence in your villa, you are nonetheless expected to offer your home to them. So offer your residence to the legate, the magistrate, or do not offer your residence to anyone. Those old men are awful. Well, we're trying to, curry favour. The legate declines your offer, but is pleased, and you'll see that the legate goes yay. And the magistrate goes grrr. Let's just give him some wine. There you go. Swell indeed. So, there are guys you can buy. This is a medicus for researching healing stuff. Oh, good night, Dano War. We got the agriculture and the Vinter for doing wine. We're about to have a battle. And map of the games. You're supposed to actually win all the games to be able to participate in the championship, which is in 183 days time. Here we go. Oh, he's done researching. That's what that rapping noise is. Okay, we're about to have a random battle in 2 days. I've got them all automatically trading. It just seemed a lot easier. But you've got these cards as well. These like blessings. You can. Oh, here we go. We've got a battle. We can always turn down. You can turn down a battle, but you lose prestige. So we're fighting a lion and this guy Julianus. Watch my food, all right. Pick one gladiator against a lion. Well, maybe I can go for my top guy and see if he does all right. This is probably a bit of a gamble. Go for it. Accept terms. Yay. Come on then. My guy in the left there. Well, okay. That was all right. I am playing on easy. So, honestly, it's just, the actual fights are just fun to watch. There's a little GIF there that you can tweet out if you want to. So that's that battle over. You get coin, food, wine, water. Oh, I got an extra guy here. Got some divine vision. I'm just going to let that guy go because I don't have any space for him. Let's grant freedom. What I'm going to do is go for one of the big games. Let's have a look at this one. I can put 2 guys into this fight. Let's take that guy who I just had. My top guy, he'll take anybody on, and this other guy, let's just see. I could spend time looking at the details, agility, attack, and then comparing over here. It's a bit like, I remember Shadowhand does this, where you only get the stats when you hover, and it's really annoying because you're going, what? Attack level 1, attack level 200, attack, that sort of thing. And I hate doing it. And especially when you're picking your gladiators from a list and you're trying to keep the numbers in your head. Anyway, accept terms. This is the big arena. Three, 2, 1. Yeah, I am playing easy. That guy is a bit overpowered. There are chariot races as well in here on certain ones. Oh god, let's just grant freedom. There you go, and let's go for another big one. That's a chariot race we could go in. I'm not going to go for that. Let's see. Frightening Killer, Demonic Beast, Hulking Beast. Let's have a look. Oh, so we're versus 5. Okay, that's the kind of thing I was looking for, but I can only choose 4? That doesn't seem fair. Right, let's just... my giant big guy again. That's everybody. Let's fill it up. Accept the terms. Come on, give me a fight. there is like, if nothing else, this game has sort of captured the sense of spectacle. I actually find I get caught up in it. Yeah, I know this is actually supposed to be an adult game, and if you read a lot of the, the text in the game, it starts talking about, concubines and stuff like that, and there is some bad language which I actually have turned off for the stream. You can turn that off, but actually it's like my children were hiding, not because they were scared of like blood or anything, but just like, oh, I don't want my guys to die. I don't want to watch, because we did have quite a few deaths, and it's just, it really captures that feeling of spectacle, and the music is great. Oh dear. How many there's a guys here? I can, yes, sell it. Let's get rid of that. Sorry. I'm just doing too well. I have to get rid of people. Repair. Okay, so there's also, you can also attend a pit fight. 3 guys. Now I'm going to do something different. I'm going to send in some weaker guys this time. I'm not going to put in this extreme guy. Oh, I'm not put him in. He's injured. Right. Let's put in 4 guys and see what happens. Yes, total massacre. So I think I originally played this not on the easy level, and I was losing guys a lot, left, right, and center. It's actually very, if you get the difficulty up a bit, it becomes a tense thing. You're not sure if your guy's going to survive. Pit fights are actually quite dangerous, because it won't show you the stats of who you're fighting as well. It's just like this random thing. But I just, how much is it? I bought this myself. It's currently going for £6.99. The developer is Dolphin Barn, and it's I don't know. I mean, it might be your kind of thing. If nothing else, it's just interesting to look at, interesting to watch. And because I actually got to the end last night, I had another quick go of this, just to play around with it, because I noticed I was surviving quite well with my top guy. I actually got to the end of the game and we won the championship. And I will say I liked the ending of the game. The ending of the game was a bit of a surprise, and I really liked it. So, yeah, that is Domina. If it's your kind of thing, really, just go for it. It looks absolutely wonderful. Let's just see these animations in flow again. Maybe it's time for me to try it on a harder difficulty. Well, I managed to cut down the time from when I did this on Monday. I was like a good half hour over when I had to go with this. I did my whole session on Monday. So, but we were actually stopping 10 minutes, just 10 minutes over. So that's all we're gonna show today, and I hope you got something out of it. Oh God, look, water and food. I'm compelled. There we go. It's Cultist Simulator all over again. A new garment is discovered to have a stain on it. Having never worn it, you return to the textile merchant to complain. He maintains the garment was free of stains, and as such he is not obligated to replace it or refund your money. Let's just leave empty-handed. That's the kind of guy I am. Okay. It's better not to involve anyone else in these small business affairs. You go back home and take out your aggression on the gladiators. Well, that sounds like you probably just annoyed everybody. So anyway, yeah, there you go. That is Domina. And let's see, I'll come up with some new ideas for the next stream in a month's time. Thank you for everybody who attended, and have fun going to bed or playing something, or whatever, studying. Good night, everybody.